proceed any further, hear me speak.
Speak! Speak!
First, you're all resolved to die rather to famish?
Resolved! Resolved!
First, you know Caius Martius is chief enemy to the people.
We know it! Oh, we know it!
Let us kill him and we'll have corn at our own price. Is it a verdict?
Aye, it is!
One word, good citizens. We are accounted poor citizens, the patricians good. What authority Sir Feetstone would relieve us? The object of our misery is an inventory to particularize their abundance. Let us revenge this with our pikes before we become rigs. For the gods know I speak this in hunger for bread, not in thirst for revenge.
Aye. But would you proceed especially against Caius Martius?
Yes, he's the very dog of the commonalty.
Very dog.
Consider you not what services he's done for his country?
And I'd be content to give him good report for it. But he pays himself by being proud.
Nay, but speak not maliciously.
I say unto you, though self-conscious man would be content to say that he did it for his country, what he did famously, he did that to that end, to please his mother and be partly proud. What shouts are this? The other side of the city has risen. What say we prating here? To the capital, come!
Aye.
Soft who comes here.
So worthy Menenius Agrippa, one who's always loved the people.
He's one honest enough. For all the rest or so.
What works, my countrymen, in hand? Where go you with bats and clubs? The matter?
Our business is not unknown to the Senate. They've had an inkling this fortnight what we intend to do, which now we intend to show them in deeds. They say poor suitors have strong breaths. We shall show them we have strong arms too.
Why, masters, my good friends, mine honest neighbors, will you undo yourselves?
We're undone already!
I tell you, friends, the most charitable care have the patricians of you. For your wants, your suffering in this dearth, you may as well strike at the heaven with your staves as lift them against the Roman state. For the dearth, the gods, not the patricians, make it, and your knees to them, not arms, must help. Alack, you are transported by calamity hither where more attend to you, and you slander the helms of the state who care for you as fathers, and when you curse them as enemies.
Care for us. True indeed. They have never cared for us. Suffer us to famish, and their storehouses crammed with grain. If the wars eat us not up, they will, and that's all the love that they bear us.
Either you must confess yourselves wondrous malicious, or be accused of folly. I shall tell you a pretty tale. It may be you have heard it, but since it serves my purpose, I will stay a little longer.
Well, I'll hear it, but yet you think not to fob off our disgrace with a tale. But aren't you please deliver?
There was a time when all the body's instruments rebelled against the belly, thus accused it that only like a gulf it did remain in the midst of the body, idle and unactive, still cupboarding the viand, never bearing like labor with all the rest, where the other instruments did see and hear, devise, instruct, walk, feel, and mutually participate. The belly answered,
Well, sir, what answer made the belly?
The kingly crowned head, the vigilant eye, the counselor heart, the arm our soldier, the steed our leg, the tongue our trumpeter.
What then? For me this fellow speaks. What then? What then?
If the former agents, if they did complain, what answer could the belly make?
I will tell you, if you'll bestow a small of what you have little patience a while, you'st hear the belly's answer.
You're long about it.
Note me this, good friends. Your most grave belly was deliberate, not rash like his accusers, and thus answered, Truth it, my incorporate friends, quoth he, that I received the general food at first which you do live upon, and fit it is, for I am the shop and the storehouse of the whole body. But, if you do remember, I send it through the rivers of your blood, even to the court, to the heart, to the seat of the brain, and through the cranks and offices of man, the strongest nerves and small inferior veins from me receive that natural competency whereby they live. What say you to it?
Well, it was an answer. How apply you this?
The senators of Rome are your most good belly, and you, its mutinous members, for examine their counsels and their cares, digest things rightly, and you shall perceive no public benefit which you do receive, but it proceeds, or comes, from them to you, and in no way from yourselves. What do you think? You, the great toe of this assembly.
I the great toe? Why the great toe?
For that, being one of the lowest, basest, poorest of this most Wise rebellion, thou goest foremost. Thou rascal, thou art worst in blood to run, leads first to win's advantage. But make you ready your stiff bats and clubs. Rome and her rats are at the point of battle, but one side must have fail. Hail, noble Martius.
Thanks. What's the matter, you dissentious rogues that rubbing the poor itch of your opinion make yourselves scabs?
We have ever your good word.
He that would give good words to thee would flatter beneath abhorring. What would you have, you curs that like nor peace nor war? The one affrights you, the other makes you proud. He that trusts to you where he should find you lions, finds you hares, where foxes, geese. You're no surer, no, than is the coal of fire upon the ice or hailstone in the sun. Your merit is to make him worthy whose offence subdues him, and curse that justice did it. Who deserves greatness deserves your hate. And your affections are a sick man's appetite who desires most that which would increase his evil. He that trusts to you swims with fins of lead and hews down oaks with rushes. And you trust you? With every minute you do change your mind and call him noble, that was now your hate, him vile, that was your garland. What's the matter? In these several places of the city you cry out against the noble senate who, under the gods, keep you in awe, which else would feed on one another. What's their seeking?
For corn at their own rates, whereof they say the city is well stored.
And they say, they'll presume to know what's done in the capital, who's like to rise, who thrives, and who declines. They say there's grain enough. Would the nobility lay aside their ruth and let me use my lawful sword, I'd make a quarry full of thousands of these quartered slaves as high as I could pick my
Nay! These are almost thoroughly persuaded, for though abundantly they lack discretion, yet they are passing cowardly. But I beseech you, what says the other troop?
They are dissolved, hang on. They said they were hungry, cite forth proverbs that meat was made for mouths, that dogs must eat, that hunger broke stone walls, that the gods sent not corn for the rich men only. With these shreds they vented their complainings, which being answered in a petition granted them, a strange one to break the heart of generosity and make a bold power look pale. They threw their caps as if they would hang them on the horns of the moon, shouting their emulation.
What is granted them?
5 tribunes to defend their vulgar wisdoms, of their own choosing. One's Junius Brutus, Sicinius Volutus, and I know not as death. The rabble should have first unroofed the city, as so prevailed with me. It will in time win upon power and throw forth greater themes for insurrections arguing.
This is strange.
Go. Get you home, you fragments.
Martius, 'tis true that you have lately told us the Volsces are in arms.
They have a leader, Tullus Aufidius, that will put you to it. I sin in envying his nobility, and were I anything but what I am, I'd wish me only he. He's a lion that I'm proud to hunt.
Noble Martius, attend upon me to these wars. It is your former promise.
Sir, it is, and I am constant.
Oh, true bred.
Your company to the capital, where I know our greatest friends attend us. Hence to your homes.
Nay, let them follow. The Volskis have much corn. Take these rats thither to gnaw their garners.
Is ever man so proud as is this Martius? He has no equal. When we were chosen tribunes for the people, mark you his lips and eyes, nay, but his taunts. The present wars devour him. He's grown too proud to be so valiant. If things go well, opinions that so stick on Martius shall of his demerits rob Cominius. Let's hence and hear how this dispatch is made, and in what fashion, other than his present singularity, he goes upon the present action.
So your opinion is, Aufidius, that they of Rome have entered in our council and know how we proceed?
Is it not yours? Whatever have been thought on in this state that could be brought to bodily act or Rome had circumvention?
Our army's in the field. We've never yet made doubt, but Rome is ready to answer us. So, noble Aufidius, hie thee to your bands. Leave us alone to guard Coriolanus. If they sit down before us, for the remove, bring up your army. But I think you'll find they've not prepared for us.
Nay, doubt not that. I speak from certainties. Nay, more. Some parcels of their power are ready forward, and only hitherward. I leave your honors. Should we and Caius Martius chance to meet, 'Tis sworn between us that we shall ever strike till one can do no more.
Alright. Let the gods assist you.
Farewell.
Farewell.
I pray you, child, sing, or express yourself in a more comfortable sort. If my son were my husband, I should freely rejoice in the absence wherein he would honor than in the embracements of his bed where he would show most love. When he was but tender-bodied, and the only son of my womb, when youth with comeliness plucked all gaze his way, when for a day of king's entreaties a mother should not sell him an hour from her beholding, I, considering how honor might become such a person, how it was no better than picture-like to hang by the wall, if renown made it not stir, was pleased to let him seek danger where he was like to find fame. To a cruel war I sent him, from whence he returned, his brows bound with oak. I tell thee, child, I leapt not more in joy at first hearing he was a man-child than now in hearing he hath proved himself a man.
But had he died in the business, madam, how then?
You me profess sincerely. Had I a dozen sons, each alike in love and none less than thine and mine, good Martius, I had rather 11 of them die nobly for their country than one voluptuously surfeit out of action. Methinks I hear hither your husband's drum. See him pluck Aufidius down by the hair. Methinks I hear him stamp thus and call thus, come on, you cowards! You are God in fear, though you were born in Rome. His mailed hand, his bloody brow then wiping, forth he goes like a harvestman that's tasked to all mow or lose his hire.
His bloody brow? Jupiter, no blood.
Away, you fool! It more becomes a man than gilt his trophy. The breast of Hecuba, when she did suckle Hector, looked not lovelier than Hector's forehead when it spit forth blood at Grecian sword contempting.
Heavens bless my lord from fell Aufidius.
Hell, beat Aufidius' head below his knee and tread upon his neck. Come, lay by your stitchery. I must have you play the idle housewife with me this afternoon.
Oh, no, good madam, I will not out of doors.
Not out of doors. You shall. You shall.
Indeed. No, but by your patience. I'll not over the threshold till my lord return from the wars.
You would be another Penelope. Yet they say all the yarn she spun in Ulysses' absence did but fill Ithaca full of moths. You do but disease my better mirth.
How far off lie these armies?
In this mile and a half.
Then shall we have their larum and they ours. Now, Mars, I prithee make us quick in work, that we with smoking swords may march from hence to help our fielded friends. Come, blow thy blast. Talus, Aufidius, is he within your walls?
No, nor Amanda fears you less than he. That's lesser than a little.
Let their noise be our instruction. Soldiers, help!
Come, my fellows. He that retires, I'll take him for a boast, and he shall feel mine edge. All the temptation of the south light on you, you shames of Rome. You souls of geese that bear the shapes of men. How we run from slaves that apes would beat. Pluto and hell. All hurt behind, backs red, faces pale with flat fright and agued fear. Mend and charge home. By the fires of heaven, I will leave the foe and make my wars on you! Come on! Follow! Oh, so now the gates are open. Now, good seconds. 'Tis for the followers fortune widens them, not for the flyers. Mark me, and do the like!
Foolhardiness, not I, nor I!
See, they have shut him in! What has become of Martius?
Slain, sir, doubtless. Following the flyers at the very heels, with them he enters, upon whom the sudden clapped at their gates. He is himself alone to answer all the city.
Oh, noble fellow! Who sensibly outdares his senseless sword, and when it bows, stands up! Thou wast a soldier, not fierce and terrible only in thy blows, but in the thunder-like percussion of thy sounds. Thou madest the world tremble.
Look, sir.
'Tis Martius! Go, let's finish what he started!
the general makes. To him, there's the man of my soul's hate, Aufidius piercing our Romans. Now, valiant Titus, take convenient numbers to make good the city, whilst I, with those that have the spirit, will go and help Cominius.
Worthy sir, thou bleedest, thy exercise has been too violent for a second round of
Praise
fight.
me not, my work hath not yet warmed me. Fare thee well. The blood I drop is more medicinal than dangerous to me. To Aufidius thus I will appear, and fight.
Review, my friends. Well fought. We are come off like Romans, neither foolish in our stands, nor cowardly in retire. Should be a...
Am I too late?
Who appears yonder? He is flayed. Oh gods, he has the stamp of Martius, and I have before time seen him thus.
Let me clip you in arms, as sound as when I wooed, in heart as merry as when our nuptial day was done and tapers burnt to bedward.
Flowers of warriors, how is it with Titus Martius?
As with a man busied about decrees, condemning some to death and some to exile, ransoming him, pitying, threatening the other, holding Coriolanus in the name of Rome, even like a fawning greyhound in the leash to let him slip at will.
But how prevailed you?
Will time serve to tell? I do not think. Know you where the enemy is? Where have they placed their men of trust?
As I guess, Martius, their bands in the vow to the Antides of their best trust, o'er them Aufidius, their very heart of hope.
I do beseech you, by all the battles wherein we have fought, by the blood we've shed together, by the vows we've made to endure friends, that you directly set me against Aufidius and his entireties, and that you do not delay the present, but filling the air with swords advanced and darts, we prove this very hour.
Though I could wish you were conducted to a gentle bath, and balms applied you, yet dare I never deny your asking. Take your choice of those that best can aid your action. March on, fellows.
I'll fight with none but thee, for I do hate thee worse than a promise breaker.
We hate alike. Not Afric owns a serpent I abhor more than thy fame and envy. Fix thy foot.
Let the first badger die the other's slave, and the gods doom him after.
If I fly, Martius, hollow me like a hare.
And in these 3 hours, Tullus, alone I fought in your Coriolis walls. 'Tis not my blood wherein thou seest me masked. For thy revenge, wrench up thy power to the highest.
Visions are not valid! You have shaped me in your condemned seconds!
If I should tell thee o'er this thy day's work, thou not believe thy deeds, but I'll report it. Where senators shall mingle tears with smiles, where great patricians shall attend and shrug, but in the end admire. Where ladies shall be frighted, and gladly quake hear more. Where the dull tribunes that with the fusty plebeians hate thine honors shall say against their hearts, we thank the gods our Rome hath such a soldier.
No more of this. My mother, who has a charter to extol her blood, when she does praise me, grieves me. I've done as you have done, that's what I can. And used as you have been, that's for my country. He that hath but attempted his good will hath overtaken mine act.
You shall not be the grave of your deserving. Rome must know the value of her own. Therefore, I beseech you, in sign of what you are, not to reward what you have done, and before our army, hear me.
Martius! Martius! Martius!
Let these same instruments which you defile never sound more. No more, I say. You shout me forth in acclamations hyperbolical, as if I love that my little should be dieted in praises sourced with lies.
Too modest are you, more cruel to your good report than grateful to us that give you truly. From now on, for what he did before Coriolanus, call him, with all the applause and clamor of the host, Caius Martius Coriolanus.
Caius Martius Coriolanus! Caius Martius Coriolanus!
I will go wash. And when my face is fair, you shall perceive whether I blush or no. Howbeit I thank you. I mean to stride your steed, and at all times to undercrest your good addition to the fairness of my power.
Go we to our tent. The blood upon your visage dries. It's time it should be looked to. Come.
The town is taken. 5 times, Martius, I have fought with thee. So often hast thou beat me, and wouldst do so, I think, should we encounter as often as we eat. By the elements, if ever again I meet with him, beard to beard, he's mine or I am his. Mine emulation hath not the honor in it had. For where I thought to crush him in an equal sort, true sword to sword, I'll potch at him some way, or wrath or craft may get him.
The ogre tells me we shall have news tonight.
Good or bad?
Not according to the prayer of the people, for they love not Martius.
Nature teaches beasts to know their friends.
Pray you, who does the wolf love?
The lamb.
Aye, to devour him, as the hungry plebeians would the noble Martius.
Oh, he's a lamb indeed that baas like a bear.
He's a bear indeed that lives like a lamb. In what enormity is Martius poor, and that you two have not in abundance?
He's poor in no one fault, but stored with all, especially in pride, and topping all others in boasting.
You blame Martius for being proud.
Oh, we do it not alone, sir. Menenius, you are known well enough. You are known to be a perfecter jiber at the table than a necessary bencher in the capital.
Our very priests must become mockers if they are to encounter such ridiculous subjects as you are. More of our conversation will infect my brain, being the herdsman of the beastly plebeians. I will be bold to take my leave of you. How now, my fair is noble fellows? Whither do you follow your eyes so fast?
Oh, honorable Menenius, my boy Martius approaches. For the love of Juno, let's go.
Ha! Martius coming home!
Aye, worthy Menenius.
Take my cap, Jupiter, and I thank thee. Ha! Martius coming home. Is he not wounded? He was once come unwounded.
Oh, no.
Oh, he is wounded, and I thank the gods for it.
So do I too, if it be not too much. Brings he victory in his pocket, the wounds become him. Has he disciplined Ophidius soundly?
Titus Larsus writes they have fought together, but Ophidius got off. The Senate hath letters from the general wherein he gives my son the whole name of the war.
The gods grant them true.
True, all be sworn they are true. Where is he wounded? God save your good warships. Martius is coming home. He has more cause to be proud. Where is he wounded?
In the shoulder and in the arm. He hath before this last expedition some 25 wounds upon him.
Now it's 27. Every gash was an enemy's grave.
Death, that dark spirit in his nervy arm doth lie, which when advanced declines, and then men die.
No Rome, but all alone Martius did fight within Coriolanus' gates, where he hath won, with fame, a name to Martius Caius. These, in honor, follows Coriolanus. Welcome to Rome, renowned Coriolanus.
Welcome to Rome, renowned Coriolanus.
I pray you no more of this. It does offend my heart. Pray now. No more.
Look, sir, your mother.
Oh, you have, I know, petitioned all of the gods for my prosperity.
Nay, my good soldier, up.
My gracious silence. Hail.
Oh, I know not where to turn. Oh, welcome home, and welcome, general, and you're welcome all.
100,000 welcomes. I could laugh and I could weep. I am light and heavy. Welcome.
Your hand and yours. Ere in my own house I do shade my head, the good patricians must be visited, from whom I have received not only greetings, but with them change of honours.
I have lived to see inherited my very wishes and the buildings of my fancies. There is only one thing yet wanting, which I doubt not but our Rome shall cast upon thee.
No, good mother. I'd rather be their servant in my way than rule with them in theirs.
On to the capital.
All tongues speak of him, and the bleared sights are spectacle to see him. On the sudden I warrant him consul. And during his office our power may go sleep. 'Tis true, he cannot temperately transport his honors from where he should begin and end, but will lose those he hath won. In that there's comfort. I heard him say, were he to stand for consul, never would he appear in the marketplace, nor put on him the napless vesture of humanity, nor, as the manner is, show his wounds to the people, or beg their stinking breaths. 'Tis right. Let's to the capital, and go we with eyes and ears for the time, but hearts for the event.
Having determined the Volskis and to send for Caius Martius, it then remains as this the main point of our after-meeting to desire our present consul and last general in our well-found successes to report a little of that worthy work performed by Caius Martius Coriolanus, whom we meet here both to thank and to remember with honors like himself.
Masters of the people, we do request your kindest ears, and after your loving motion toward the common body to yield what passes here.
We are convented upon a pleasing treaty, with hearts inclinable to honor and advance the theme of our assembly, the which we were blessed to do would he remember a kinder value to the people they have hereto prized them at.
That's off. He loves your people, but tie him not to be their bedfellow. Worthy Cominius, speak. Nay, keep your place.
Sir, I hope my words disbenched you not.
Sir, yet oft when blows have made me stay, I fled from words. You soothe not, therefore hurt not. As for your people, I love them as they were.
Pray now, sit down. Masters of the people, your multiplying spawn, how can he flatter when you now see he'd rather venture all his limbs for honor than one on Circe the errant? Proceed, Cominius.
I shall lack voice. The man I speak of, if valor is said to be the chiefest virtue, the man I speak of cannot in a worldly seemly counterpoise.
He cannot but with measure fit the honors which we devise him. He's right noble. Let him be called forth.
The Senate, Coriolanus, are well pleased to make thee consul.
I do owe them still my life and services.
But then reason you do speak to the people.
I do beseech you, let me overleap that custom, for I cannot entreat them for my wound's sake to give their suffrage. Please do that I may pass this doing.
Sir, the people must have their voices, neither will they bate one jot of ceremony.
Put them not to it. Pray you go fit you to the custom, and take to you as your predecessors have your honor with your forms.
The part that I will blush in acting, and that will be taken from the people.
Mark you that.
To brag unto them. Thus I did, and thus show them the uneaten scars which I should hide, as if I received you for the hire of their breath only.
Do not stand upon it. Tribunes, we recommend to you our purpose to them, and to our
Noble consul, which we all joy and honor.
To Coriolanus, come all joy and honor.
You see how he intends to use the people. May they perceive his intent. Come, let's inform them of our proceedings here. I know they do attend us on the marketplace.
Once, if you do require our voices, we ought not to deny them. Yeah.
Well, we have the power in ourselves to do it, but it's a power that we have no power to do. For if he shows us his wounds and tells us his deeds, we are to put our tongue in those wounds and speak for them.
That's no matter. The greater part carries it. I say, if you incline to the people, there was never a worthier man.
Aye.
Oh, here he comes, with his gown of humility.
Oh, sir,
Marcus
you're not
behavior.
right. Have you not known the worthiest that men have done it?
What must I say? I pray, sir, plague upon it, I cannot bring my tongue to such a pace. Look, sir, my wounds, I got them in my country's service, when no doubt some of your own brethren ran and roared from the noise of our own drums.
Oh, me the gods, you must not speak of that. You must desire them to think upon you.
Think upon me? Hang 'em. I would they would forget me, like the virtues which our divines lose by them.
You'll mar all. I'll leave you. Pray to him, speak to him. I pray you in a wholesome manner.
Bid them wash their faces and keep their teeth clean. So here comes the brace. You know the cause, sir, of my standing here?
We do, sir. But, tell us what hath brought you to it.
Mine own desert.
Your own dessert?
But not mine own desire.
How not your own desire?
No, sir. 'Twas never my desire to trouble the poor with begging.
You must think if we give you anything, we hope to gain by you.
Well then, I pray you, your price of the consulship.
The price is to ask it kindly.
Kindly, sir, I pray, let me have it. I have wounds to show you, which shall be yours in private. Your good voice, sir. What say you?
You shall have it.
A match, sir! There's in all 2 worthy voices begged. I have your arms. Adieu.
Aye, but this is something odd.
Most sweet voices. Better it is to die. Better to starve than to idly crave the hire which first we do deserve. Why in this wolvish toad must I stand here and beg of hob and dip that doth appear the needless vouchers? Custom calls me to it. What custom wills, in all things should we do it. Dust on antique time would lie unswept, and mountainous error be too highly heaped for truth to appear. Rather than fool it so, let the high office and the honor go to one who would do thus. I am half through. The one part suffered, did the other I will do. Now here come more voices. Your voices! For your voices I have fought. Watched for your voices. For your voices have done many things. Some less, some more. Battles thrice 6 I have seen and heard of. Your voices. Indeed, I would be consul.
He has done nobly and cannot go without any honest man's voice. Therefore, let him be consul. May God give you joy and make you good friend to the people.
Most sweet voices. Oh, God, is this over with?
The custom of request you have discharged, the people do admit you and are summoned to meet upon your approbation.
May I change these garments?
You may, sir.
That I will straight do, and knowing myself again repair to the Senate
I'll
House.
keep thee company. Will you along?
Always stay here, but for the people, fare you well. He has it now, and by his looks methinks 'tis warm at heart. Yet with a proud heart wore he his humble reeds. Will you dismiss the people? How now, my masters? Have you chose this man?
He has our voices, sir.
Oh, we pray the gods he may deserve your loves.
To my poor, unworthy notice, he mocked us when he begged our voices.
Certainly, he flouted us downright.
No, this is kind of speech. He did not mock us.
He should have shown us his marks of merit. Wounds received for his country.
Why, so he did, I am sure.
No, my thought.
He said he had wounds which he could show us in private. Was not this mockery, or?
Why then were you so ignorant to see it? Or seeing it of such childish friendliness to yield your voices? Could you not have told him as you were lessoned? When he had no power but was a petty servant to the state, he was your enemy, ever spake against your liberties and the charters you bear the body of the wheel. And now, arriving a place of potency, your voices might be curses to yourselves. Thus to have said, as you were fore-advised, would have touched his spirit and tried his inclination. So putting him to rage, you should have taken the advantage of the collar and passed him unelected.
He's not confirmed yet. We may deny him yet.
And we will. I'll have 500 voices to that sound.
Get you hence instantly! And tell those friends they have chose a consul that will take from them their liberties, make them of no more voice than of dogs that is often beat for barking is therefore kept to do so. Lay the fault on us, your tribunes, that we labored, no impediment between, but that you must cast your election on him. Say you chose him more after our commandment than your own true desires. Lay the fault on us.
We will, sir. We will, sir. Almost all repent in their election.
Let them go on. This mutiny were better put to hazard than stay past doubt for greater. Come, let's to the capital. We'll be there before the stream of the people, and this shall seem as partly 'tis their own, which we have goaded onward. Tell us, Aethidius, then it made mute head.
He had, sir, and that which caused our swifter composition.
So then the Volskis stand but as at first, ready when time shall prompt them to make road upon us again. Saw you Aethidius?
Yes. He came to me on safeguard and did curse against the Volsces, for so vilely had they taken the city. He retired to Antium.
Spoke you of me?
He did, sir.
How? What?
Of how often he had met you sword to sword. And of all things on earth he hated your person the most. He would trade all his possessions just to be called your vanquisher.
Antium, Lucy.
At Antium.
I wish I had a cause to seek him there. To oppose his hatred, fully. Welcome home. Behold, these are the tribunes of the people, the tongues of the common mouth. I do despise them, for they do prank them in authority against all noble sufferance.
Pass no further!
What's this?
The matter, hath he not passed the noble and the common?
Committees!
Have I had children's voices?
Tribunes, give way, he shall to the marketplace.
People are incensed against him. Stop! Or all will fall in broil.
Are these your herd? You being their mouths, why rule you not their teeth? Have you not set them on?
Oh, calm,
let's be calm.
The people cry you mocked them and called them foes to nobleness.
This was known before.
Why, not to them all.
Have you informed them since?
I informed them.
This was my speech, and I'll speak it again. The mutable rank-scented many, let them regard me as I do not flatter, and therein behold themselves. I say again, in soothing them, we nourish against our senate the cockle of rebellion, insolence, sedition, which we ourselves have plowed for, sowed, and scattered by mingling them with us, the honoured number who lack not virtue, no, nor power, but that which they have given to beggars.
Will no more.
You speak of the people as if you were God to punish not a man of their infirmity. 'Twere well we let the people know it. Yours is a poison that shall remain where it is, not poison any further.
Shall remain. Hear you, this Triton of the minnows, mark you his absolute shall. Oh, good but most unwise patricians, why you great but reckless senators, have you thus given Hydra here to choose an officer? Your plebeians, if they be senators, they choose their magistrate as such one as he, who offers his shall, his popular shall, against a graver bench than ever frowned in Greece, and by Jove himself. It makes the consuls base.
Has said enough. Has spoken like a traitor and shall answer as traitors do.
Wretch, despite o'erwhelm thee, how should the people live with these bold tribunes on whom depending their obedience fails to the greater bench?
Go, call you hence the people, in whose name I do attach thyself, a traitorous innovator, a foe to the public weal. Obey, I charge thee, and follow to the answer.
Rotten thing, or I shall shake thy bones from out thy car.
Help you, citizens!
Scout!
On both sides! Take from you your liberties, Martius would have all from you!
Both of them.
Fie, this is the way to kindle, not to quench!
What is the city but the people,
To bury all which yet distinctly
deserves death!
Go. Get you to your house, or all else will be not.
Gone away! He shall be thrown down the Tarpeian rock
Unworthy tribunes.
with rigorous hands! He hath scorned law, and therefore law shall scorn him further trial than the public power, which he so sets it not. He is a disease that must be cut away.
Oh, he's but a limb that has but a disease. Mortals to cut it away, to cure it easy. What has he done to Rome that's worthy death? Killing our enemies, the blood he hath spilled, he hath dropped for his people.
Give me leave, I'll bring him to answer by a lawful form, in peace, to his utmost peril.
Noble Menenius, be you then the people's officer, Meet on the marketplace, where we'll attend you there, and if you bring not Martius, we'll proceed in our first way.
Let them pull all about mine ears, present me death at the wheel or at wild horses' heels, yet will I still be thus to them. I muse my mother, does not approve me further. I talk of you. Why would you wish me milder? Would you have me false to my nature? Rather say I play the man I am.
Oh, sir, sir, sir. I wish you had put your power well on before you had more
Let go!
You might have been enough the man you are with striving less to be so. Lesser have been the thwartings of your dispositions if you had not shown them how you were disposed ere they lacked power to cross
let
you.
them hang.
Aye, and burn too.
Come, come, you have been too rough. You must return and mend it.
I pray you, be counseled. I have a heart as little apt as yours, but yet a brain that leads my use of anger to better vantage.
Well said, noble woman.
What must I do?
Return to the tribunes. Repent what you have spoken.
Why force you this?
Because that now it falls on you to speak to the people not by your own instruction, but with such words as are but rooted in your tongue, though but bastards, and with syllables of no allowance to thy bosom's truth. Now, this no more dishonors you than to take in a town with gentle words which else would put thee to thy fortunes and the hazard of much blood. I should disperse with my nature, where my fortunes and my friends required I should do so in honor.
Noble lady, come, go with us. Speak fair.
I prithee now, my son. Go to them, and with thy knee bussing the stone, say to them thou art their soldier, and having been bred in broils, hath not the soft way which thou dost confess, were fit to use, as they claim, in asking their great loves. Thou shalt frame thyself, forsooth, hereafter theirs, as far as thou hast power and person.
This but done even as she speaks, why their hearts were yours, for being asked they have pardons as free as words to little purpose.
I've been to the marketplace. And sir, 'tis fit you make strong-hearted to defend yourself by calmness or by absence. All is in anger.
Only fair speech.
I think 'twill serve if he can there to frame his spirit.
He must, and will. I prithee, say you will, and go about it.
Must I go show them my unbarbered sconce? Must I, with my base tongue, give to my noble heart a lie that it must bear? I will do it. Were there but this single plot to lose this mould of Martius, they to dust should grind it and throw it against the wind. To the marketplace. You've put me now to such a part which never I shall discharge to the life.
I prithee now, sweet son. As thou hast often said, my praises made thee first a soldier. So to have my praise in this, thou must perform a part thou hast not done before.
I will do it. Away my disposition, and possess me some harlot spirit. My throat of war, which quarried with my drum, be turned into a pipe, small as an eunuch with a virgin voice that babies lulls asleep. A beggar's tongue make motion through my lips. I will not do it, lest I shall cease to honor mine own truth and find my body's action teach my mind the most inherent baseness.
As thy choice then! To beg of thee, it is more my dishonor than thou of them. Come all to ruin, let thy mother rather feel thy pride than fear thy stoutness, for I mock at death with as big a heart as thou. Do as thou list! Thy valiantness was mine, thou suck'st it from me, but oh, thy pride thyself!
Mother, peace, I'm going to the marketplace. Try me no more. Ask their loves, conquer their hearts from them, and come back beloved of all the trades in Rome. Look! I'm going. I'll return, consul. I'll never trust what my tongue can do in the way of flattery further.
Do your will.
Away, the tribunes do attend you. Arm yourself to answer mildly, for they are prepared with accusations, as I hear, more strong than are upon you yet.
The word is mildly. I pray you, let's go. Let them accuse me by invention, I'll answer in mine honor.
Aye, but mildly.
Mildly be it then. Mildly.
You catalogue of the voices set down in the poll.
I have, 'tis ready.
Bid them assemble presently. And when they hear me say, it shall be so, in the right and strength of the commons, be it for fine, death, or banishment, if I cry fine, cry...
Fine.
If death, cry...
Death!
There we go. Insisting on the old prerogative of the power, the truth of the cause. And when they have begun, let them not cease, but with a din confuse enforce the execution of what we chance to sentence. Go about it. Put him to collar straight. Being once chafed, he cannot be reined again to temperance, but then says what's in his heart, and there's that which looks with us to break his neck. Ah, here he comes.
I beseech you, speak calmly.
Draw near, you people!
Shall I be charged no further than this present? Must all determine here?
We do demand that you submit to the people's voices, allow their officers, and suffer such lawful censure for charges that shall be proved upon you.
I am content.
Lo, citizens, he says he is content. The warlike service he has done, consider. Think of the wounds his body bears, which show like graves in the holy churchyard.
Scratches with briars, scars to move laughter only.
Consider further that when he speaks not like a citizen, you find him like a soldier. Take not his rougher accents for malicious sounds, but, as I say, such as become a soldier rather than envy you.
That being passed for consul with full voice, I'm so dishonored that the very hour you take it off again.
Answer to us. We charge that you have contrived to take from Rome all seasoned office and to wind yourself into a power tyrannical, for which we say you are a traitor to the people.
I'm not a traitor.
Nay, temperately, your promise.
I am from the lowest hell fold in the people. Call me their traitor, thou injurious tribune.
Oh, mark you this, the people?
Within thine eyes sat 20,000 deaths. Within thy heart as many millions. Within thy lying tongue both numbers. I would say to thee, thou liest with a voice as free as I do pray the gods.
Mark you this, the people! Peace. We need not put new matter to its charge, but that you have seen what he has done and heard him say. Beating your officers, cursing yourselves, opposing laws with strokes, and here defying those who great power must try him. This, even most criminal in capital crime, deserves the extremist death. Since he hath served well for Rome.
What do you prate of service?
Is this the promise you made your mother?
No, pronounce the steep Darpian death, exile, flame, pentalinga, but with a grain a day. I would not buy their mercy for the price of one fair word to how it was saying good morrow.
But since he hath, and though there is that which within him lies, that an envy against the people, from time to time ever sought to pluck away their liberties, and now, at the last, opposing with hostile strokes, not in the presence of dreaded justice, but against the very ministers that doth distribute it, we do say in the people's name, and in the power of us tribunes, he is banished from our city, never more to enter in our Rome gates. In the people's name I say, it shall be so!
It shall be so! Shall be so! Shall be so!
Hear me, my masters in common.
There's no more to be said, but he is banished from his people and his country. I say, it shall be so!
It shall be so! It shall be so! It shall be so!
Get out of here.
You common cry of curs, whose breath I hate as reek of the rotten fens, whose loves I prize as the dead carcasses of unburied men that do corrupt my air. I banish you! And here remain with your uncertainty. Let every feeble rumour shake your hearts. Your enemies with nodding of their caps fan you into despair. Have the power still to banish your defenders till at length your ignorance, which finds not till it feels, making but reservation of yourselves, still your own foes, deliver you as most abated captives to some nation that won you without blows. Despising for you the city, thus I turn my back. There is a world elsewhere.
The people's enemy is God! Is God!
your tears. A brief farewell. The beast with many heads butts me away. Mother, where is your ancient courage? You used to load me with precepts that will make invincible the heart that con them.
Oh heavens, oh heavens.
I prithee.
Now the red pestilence strikes all trades in Roman occupations perish.
What? I shall be loved when I'm lacked. Don't droop, Menenius. Fare you well, my mother, my love. I'll do well yet. Old and true Menenius, thy tears are salter than a younger man's and venomous to thine eyes.
Oh, the gods.
I prithee, bring me out but at gate. When I'm out, bid me farewell and smile. You'll hear from me yet, and never of me aught but what is like me formerly. Come, give me thy hand. Let us on.
Bid them all home. He's gone and will no further. Now that we have shown our power, let us seem humbler after it is done than when we were doing. Go, dismiss them home. Here comes his mother. Let's not meet her. Why? They say she's bad. Take note of us. Keep on your way.
Oh, you're well met. The horrid plague of the gods requite your love.
Peace, be not so loud.
Oh, that I could, for weeping, you should hear, nay, you shall hear some. Oh, would you be gone?
You shall stay, too. I would I could say so to my husband.
Are you mankind?
I, fool. Is that a shame? No, but this fool was not a man, my father. Hast thou foxship enough to banish him, that struck more blows for Rome than thou hast spoken words?
I would just let him continue to his country, and not omit the noble knot he made. I would he had.
I would he had. 'Twas you incensed the rabble cats, that he judged as fitly of his birth as I of those mysteries which heaven will not ever to know.
Come, let's away. Why stay we to be baited with one who wants to live?
Take my prayers with you! I would the gods had nothing else to do but to confirm my curses. If I could meet with them but once a day, it would unclog my heart of what lies heavy to it.
You have told them home, and by my troth, you have cause. You'll sup with me.
Angers my meat. I'll sup upon myself, and so shall starve with feeding. Come, let's go.
A goodly city, this Antium. City 'tis I that made thy widows. Many an heir of these fair edifices for my walls have I heard groan and drop. Oh. Say you, sir.
And you?
Tell me, if it be your will, where great Ophidius lies. Is he in Antium?
He is. It feasts with the nobles of the house tonight.
Which of these is his house, beseech you?
This one before you.
I thank you, sir. Very well. Oh, world, thy slippery turns. Fellest foes, whose passions and whose plots abused their sleep to take the one by the other, by some chance shall grow dear friends and interjoin their issues. My birthplace hate I, and my love's upon this enemy town. I'll enter. If he slay me, he does fair justice. If he lets me through, I'll do his country's service. The feast smells well, but I appear not like a guest.
What fellow is this? I know not. A strange one. I cannot get him of the house. Prithee, call the master to me. What business have you, fellow? Pray you, leave the house.
But stand, I will not hurt your hearth.
Where is this fellow?
Here, sir. I'd have beaten him like a dog, but to disturb the loge within.
Whence comest thou? What wouldst thou? Thy name? Why speakest not? Speak, man. What's thy name?
If tell us not yet thou knowest me, and having seen me now, take me not for the man I am, necessity commands me name myself.
What is thy name?
A name unmusical to the Volscians' ears and harsh in sound to thine.
Say, man, what is thy name? Thou hast a grim appearance. Thy face shows a grim appearance. Though thy tackles torn, thou showest a noble vessel. What's thy name?
My name is Caius Martius, who hath done to thee and to all the Volsces great hurt and mischief. Thereto witness may my surname, Coriolanus. The drops of blood shed for my thankless country are requited but with that surname. A good memory and witness to the malice and displeasure which thou shouldst bear me. Only that name remains. The cruelty and envy of the people committed by our dastard nobles hath forsook the rest, and ushered me by the voice of slaves to be whooped out of Rome. Now, this extremity brought me to thy hearth, not out of hope, mistake me not, to save my life. For if I feared death of all the men in the world, I would have avoided thee. But to be full quit of those my banishers, in mere spite I stand before thee here. Make my misery serve thy turn. Use it, that my revengeful services may prove as benefits to thee. For I will fight against my cankered country with the spleen of all the underfiends. But, if so be it that thou darest not this, and to prove more fortunes thou art tired, then, in a word, I too am longer to live most weary, and do present my throat to thee, and to thine ancient malice, which not to cut would show thee but a fool, since I have ever followed thee with hate, drawn turns of blood from out your country's breast, and cannot live but to thy shame, unless it be to do thee service.
Oh, Martius, Martius, each word thou hast spoken hath weeded from my heart a root of ancient envy. If Jupiter should from yon cloud speak divine things and say 'tis true, I'd not believe them more than thee, honorable Martius. Let me wrap mine arms about that body, where against my ingrained ash 100 times hath broken scarred the moon with splinters. Here I do clip the anvil of my sword, and do contest as hotly and as nobly with thy love, as ever in ambitious strength I did contend against thy valor. Know thou first, I love the maid I married, never man sighed truer breath. But that I see thee here, more dances my rapt heart than when I first my wedding mistress saw bestirred my threshold. Why, thou Mars, I tell thee, we had a power on foot, and I had once more purpose to hew thy target from thy brawn, or to lose mine arm for it. We have fought several times, and I have nightly since dreamt of encounters twixt thyself and me. We have been down together in my sleep, unbuckling helms, fisting each other's throats, and awake half dead with nothing. Oh, worthy Martius, had we no other quarrel else to roam, we would muster all, and pouring war into the bowels of ungrateful Rome like a bold flood o'erbear it. Oh, come, go in. Take the friendly senators by the hands, who are now here taking their leaves of me, who are prepared against your territories, though not for Rome itself.
You bless me, gods.
Oh, come in. Let me commend thee first to those that shall say yea to thy desires. 1,000 welcomes, and more a friend than e'er an enemy. But, Martius, that was much. Your hand, most welcome.
We neither hear from him, neither need we fear him. His remedies are tame, the present calm and quietness of the people, which before were in wild hurry. Is this Menenius? Oh, he's grown so kind of late. Hail, sir!
Hail to you both.
Your Coriolanus is not much missed but by his friends. The Commonwealth doth stand, and would do so were he the more angry at it. Where is he, hear you?
Nay, I hear nothing.
The gods bless you both!
Oh, good even to our neighbors.
Our children, our wives, ourselves, we are on your knees to bless and pray for you.
Oh, farewell, our neighbors. We wish Coriolanus had loved you as we did. This is a happier and more comely time than when these fellows ran about the streets crying confusion. Caius Martius was the worthy officer of the war, but too proud, with o'erleaping ambition past all thinking, self-loving. And affecting one sole throne without assistance, the gods have prevented it, and Rome sits safe and still without him.
Worthy tribunes, The nobility goes to the Senate house. There is some news coming that turns their
'Tis Ophidius who, hearing of Martius' banishment, thrust forth his horns once again into the world, which were enshelled when Martius stood for Rome and durst not once peep out.
Tell not me. No, this cannot be. Not possible.
More fearful, sir, is delivered.
What more fearful?
Spoke of many mouths, how probable I do not know, that Martius joined with Aufidius leads the force against Rome and vows revenge, as spacious as the oldest and the youngest.
This is unlikely. He and Ophidius can no more atone than violentest contrariety.
Oh, you have made good work!
What's
You
the
have
news?
helped to
What's
banish
the
your own
news?
daughters, to melt the city lands upon your base, to see your wives dishonor to your
What's the
noses,
news?
and your
What's the
temples
news?
burn in their cement, the franchise whereon which you stood confined into an augur's bore.
Pray now your news, if Martius should be joined with the Volscians.
If he is their god, he leads them like a thing made by some other deity than nature that shapes man better. And they follow him against us brats with no less confidence than boys pursuing summer butterflies or butchers killing flies!
You have made good work, you and your apron men, you that stood so much upon the voice of occupation and the breath of garlic eater.
You'll take your room about your ears.
We are all undone unless the noble man have mercy.
You have brought a trembling upon Rome such as was never. It's incapable of help!
Oh, say not we did it!
How? Wast we? We loved your people, but like beasts and cowardly nobles gave way unto your clusters who did hoot him out of the city.
Faith, we hear fearful news. For mine own part, when I said banish him, said 'twas a pity.
And so did I.
And so did I. And to say the truth, so did a very many of us. And why?
Your goodly things, you voices!
You made good work, you and your cry. Shouts to the Capitol.
Aye. What else?
Masters, get you home. Be not dismayed. I do not like this news. All right. Let's to the capital. What half my wealth would buy this for a lie?
Do they still fly to the Roman?
I do not know what witchcraft is in him, but your soldiers use him as the grace for the meat, the talk at the table, and the thanks at the end. And you, sir, are darkened in this action, even by your own.
I cannot help it now, unless by using means I lame the foot of our design. He bears himself more proudly, or even to my person, than I thought he would when I first did embrace him. Yet his nature in that's no changeling, and I must excuse what cannot be amended.
I beseech you, sir. Think you he'll carry Rome?
All places yields to him ere he sits down, and the nobility of Rome are his. The tribunes are no soldiers, and their people will be as rash in the repeal as hasty to expel him thence. I think he'll be to Rome as is the osprey to the fish, who takes it by sovereignty of nature. First he was a noble servant to them, but he could not carry his honors even, whether 'twas pride or whether nature, for he has spices them all, nay, not all, for I dare so far free him, made him feared, so hated and so banished. But he hath the merit to choke it in the utterance. Our virtues lie in the interpretation of the time and the power unto itself most commendable. Hath not a tomb so evident as a chair to extol what it hath done? One fire drives out one fire, one nail, one nail. Rights by rights do falter, strengths by strengths do fail. Come, let's away. When, Caius, Rome art thine, thou art poorest of all, then shortly thou art mine.
No, O not go. You hear what he hath said, which was sometime his general who loved him, in a most dear particular.
Nay, go you, that a mile before his tents, kneel down and fall away into his mercy. Nay, if he coy to hear Cominius speak, I'll keep at home.
You would not seem to hear me.
Do you hear?
At one time, he did call me by my name. I urged our old acquaintance, the drops we had bled together. Coriolanus, he would not answer to, forbade all names. He was a kind of nothing, titleless. till he'd forged himself a name with the fire of burning Rome.
Why, so you have made good work, a pair of tribunes that have racked Rome to make coals cheap, a noble memory.
I offered to awaken his regard for his private friends. His answer to me was, he would not stay to pick them in a pile of noisome, musty chaff. He said 'twas folly, for one poor grain or two to leave unburnt, and still to nose the offence.
For one poor grain or two, I'm one of those. His mother, his beloved, and this poor fellow too. We are the grains. You are the musty chaff, and you are smelt above the moon. We must be burnt for you.
And pray be patient. If you refuse your aid in this so never needed help, you do not upbraids with our distress. But sure, if you would be your country's pleader, your good tongue, more than the instant army we can make, might stop our countrymen.
No, I'll not meddle.
Pray you go to him. Your good will must deserve that thanks from Rome after the measure of your good will. You know the very road into his kindness and cannot lose your way.
I'll undertake it. Good faith, I'll prove him, speed how it will. I shall ere long have knowledge of my success.
You will not hear him.
Not?
I tell you, he does sit in gold, his eye red as 'twould burn Rome, and his injury the jailer to his pity. I knelt before him. 'Twas very faintly he said, "Rise," and dismissed me thus with his speechless hand. All hope is vain. Unless his noble mother, who as I hear mean to solicit him for mercy to his country. Therefore let's hence, and with our fair entreaties haste them on.
Stop, lads, come here.
Stand and go back.
You guard like men, 'tis well, but by your leave I am an officer of state and come to speak with Coriolanus.
From whence?
From Rome.
You must go back, you shall not pass. Our officer, our general, will no more hear from that.
Good, my friends. If you have heard your general talk of Rome and of his friends there, it is lots the blanks my name hath touched your ears. It is Menenius.
Be it so, you shall not pass.
We'll sooner see your Rome burned than speak with Coriolanus.
What's the matter?
Now, I'll say an errand for you, you companion. You shall know that I am in estimation. You shall perceive that a Jack Garden cannot office me from my son Coriolanus. The glorious gods that in our least nod about thy particular prosperity and love thee no worse than thy old father Menenius does. Oh, my son, my son. Now we're preparing fire for us. Look thee, here's water to quench it.
Away.
How? Away!
My friends, my blood, I know not. My affairs are servanted to others. Though I owe my remission properly, my revenge lies in Volscian breasts. This man Phidias was my beloved in Rome. Thou beholdst.
Keep Mr. Constant temper.
Now, sir, is your name Menenius?
The spell, you see, of great power. You know the way home?
I neither care for the world nor your general. I say to you as I was said to, away!
Noble fellow, my Lord. The worthy fellow is our general. He's the rock, an oak not to be wind shaken.
This last old man with a flat father sent to Rome loved me as a father, nay, godded me, indeed. Their latest refuge was to send him whose old love I have, though I showed sourly to him. Fresh embassies and suits, not from the state and not from private friends hereafter will I lend ear to. What noises are these? Will I infringe my vow the first time 'tis made? I will not. My love goes foremost. Then the honoured mould wherein this trunk was framed. Out, affection, all bond and privilege of nature break. Let it be virtuous to be obstinate.
My lord and husband.
These eyes are not the same, my war in Rome.
The sorrow that delivers us thus changed makes you think so.
Like a dull actor, I forgot my part. And I'm out, even to my full disgrace. Best of my flesh, forgive my tyranny, but don't say for that, forgive our Romans. Kiss. Long is my exile, sweet is my revenge. Ye gods, I pray to and the most noble mother of the world leave unsaluted. Sink my knee in the earth. Of thy deep duty more devotion show than that of common sons.
Nay, my good soldier, up. Whilst with no softer cushion than the flint, I kneel before thee, and improperly show duty as mistaken all this while between
What's
parent and
this?
child.
Your knees to me, to your corrected son. Let the pebbles on the hungry beach fill up the stars, murdering impossibility to make what cannot be slight work.
We are all suitors to you.
I beseech you, peace. Or if you will speak, know this before. The things I have forsworn to grant you shall never be held by you denials. Tell me not wherein I seem unnatural. Desire not to allay my rages and revenges with your colder reasons.
Oh, no more. No more! You have said you will not give us anything, for we have nothing more to ask than that which you deny already. Yet we will ask that if you fail in our request, the blame shall hang upon your hardness. Therefore, hear us.
Aufidius, mark, for we'll hear not from Rome in private. Your request.
Should we be silent and not speak? Our raiment and state of body should bewray the life that we have led since thy exile. Think with thyself, how more unfortunate than all that lives are we come hither. For that thy sight, which should make our eyes weep with joy and hearts dance with comforts, constrains them rather to weep and shake with fear and sorrow, making the mother and the beloved to see the son, the husband, tearing his country's bowels out. To poor we, thine enmity's most capital, thou barrest us our prayers to the gods. A comfort all but we enjoyed, for how can we, alas, how can we for our country pray, whereto we are bound together with thy victory, whereto we are bound, either thou must as a foreign recreant be led with manacles through our streets, or else triumphantly tread upon thy country's ruin and bear the palm for having bravely shed the blood of your very own. For myself, son, I purpose not to wait on fortune till these wars determine. If I cannot persuade you rather to show noble grace to both sides than seek the end of one, thou shalt no sooner march to assault thy country than to tread on thy mother's womb that brought thee to this world.
I've sat too long.
Nay, go not from us thus! If it were so, that our request did tend to save the Romans, thereby to destroy the Volscians whom you serve, you could condemn us as poisonous of your honor. No. Our suit is that you reconcile them. While the Volscians may say, this mercy we have showed the Romans, this have we received, and both sides give thee all hail and cry, be blessed for making up this peace. Thou knowest, son, the end of war's uncertain, but this certain, that if thou conquer Rome, the benefit which thou shalt thereby reap is such a name whose repetition shall be dogged with curses. Speak to me, son. Why dost not speak? Thinkst thou it honorable for a noble man to still remember wrong? Speak, child! He cares not for your weeping! There's no man in the world more bound to his mother, and here he lets me prate like one in the stocks. Thou wouldst never show thy mother any courtesy, while she, poor hen, fond of no second brood, hath clucked thee to wars and safely home loaded with honor. Say my request unjust, and spurn me back. But if it be not so, then thou art not honest, and the gods shall plague thee, that thou restrainst me from the duty to which a mother's part belongs. He turns from us, down, child! Let us shame him with our knees.
To his surname, Coriolanus longs more pride than pity to our prayers. This is the last. So we will home to Rome to die among our neighbors. Come, let's go. I am hushed until our city be afire, and then I'll speak a little.
Mother. Oh, Mother. What have you done? Behold, the heavens do ope. The gods look down. This unnatural scene they laugh at. Oh, my mother. Oh, my mother. Mother. You have won a happy victory to Rome. But for your son, believe it. Oh, believe it. Most dangerously, you have prevailed with him, if not most mortal to him. But let it come. Aufidius, though I cannot make true wars, I'll frame a convenient peace. Now, good Aufidius, if you were in my stead, would you have heard a mother less? Or granted less, Aufidius?
I was moved with awe.
I dare be sworn you were, sir, and it's no small thing to make mine eyes to sweat compassion, but I will not to Rome. I'll back with you for your part, and I pray you stand to me in this cause. Oh, my mother, my love.
I am glad that thou hast set thy mercy and honor at difference in thee. Out of that, I'll work myself a former fortune.
All the swords in Italy and her confederate arms could not have made this peace. You deserve to have a temple built you.
See you, yon point of the Capitol, yon cornerstone.
Why? What of that?
If it be possible for you to displace it with your little finger, it is possible that he may have prevailed with his family, but I say there's no hope in it. Our throats are sentenced and stay for execution.
It's possible that so short a time may alter the condition of a man.
There is differency between a man and a butterfly, or a grub and a butterfly, yet your butterfly was a grub. This Martius is grown from man to dragon. He has wings. He's more than a creeping thing.
He loved his mother dearly.
So did he me, and he no more remembers his mother now than an 8-year-old horse. He wants nothing of a god but eternity and a heaven to throne him.
Yes, mercy if you speak him truly.
There is no more mercy in him than there is milk in a male tiger. That shall our poor city find, and all of this is long of you.
Well, the gods be good unto us.
No, in such a case the gods will not be good unto us. When we banished Martius, we respected not them, and he returning to break our necks, they respect not us.
Sir, fly to your house if you stay your life. The plebeians have got your fellow tribune and hail him up and down, saying if Volumnia bring not comfort home, they'll give him death by inches.
What's the news?
Good news, sir, good news. His family has prevailed. The Martians, the Volstrians are dislodged and Martius is gone.
Well, are you certain of this?
As sure as I am, the sun is fire! Where have you lurked that made you doubt of this? Hark you!
This is good news. I will go meet his family. This Volumnia is worth of consuls, senators, and patricians, a city full of tribunes such as you, a sea and land full. You have prayed well today. This morning for 10,000 of your throats I'd not have given a doit.
Hark how they joy!
Go tell the lords of the city I am here. Deliver them this paper. Having read it, bid them repair to the marketplace, where I and theirs and the common ears will vouch the truth of it. Dispatch.
How is it with our general?
Even so, as with a man by his own alms empoisoned, and by his charity slain, we must proceed as we do find the people.
The people will remain uncertain, while twixt you there's a difference. But the fall of either makes the survivor heir of all.
I know it. I took him, made him joint servant with me, gave him way in all his desires, nay, served his designments in mine own person, till at the last I seemed his follower, not subject. He weighs me with his countenance as if I had been mercenary. Now at a few drops of a woman's rheum, which are as cheap as lies, he sold the blood and labor of our great action. Therefore he must die, and all renew me in his fall.
Your native town you entered like a post and had no welcome home. But he returns, splitting the air with noise. And patient fools whose children he hath slain tear at their throats in giving him glory. So, to your advantage, ere he express himself or move the people with what he would say, let him feel your sword, which we will second.
Say no more. Here come the lords.
You are most welcome home.
I have not deserved it. But have you, noble lords, with heed perused what I have written you?
We have, and grieve to hear it. A treaty where there was a yieldingness admits no excuse.
He approaches. You shall hear him speak.
My noble lords, hail. I am returned, your soldier. No more infected with my country's love than when I parted hence, but still subsisting under your great command. You ought to know that valiantly I have attempted, and with bloody banners have brought your wars even to the gates of Rome. We have made peace, with no less honor to the Antiots than shame to the Romans.
Read it not, noble lords, but tell the traitor in the highest degree that he hath abused your power.
Traitor? How now?
Aye, traitor Martius.
Martius?
Aye, Martius. Caius Martius, dost thou think I'll grace thee with that robbery? Thy stolen name, Coriolanus and Coriolanus? You lords and heads of the state, perfidiously he hath betrayed your business, and given up for certain drops of salt your city, Rome. I say your city, breaking his oath and resolution like a twist of rotten silk, never admitting counsel of the war, but in his nurse's tears he whined and roared away your victory. That pages blushed at him, or men of heart looked wondering at each other.
Thou Mars.
Not the god, thou boy of tears.
Huh? Measureless liar, thou hast made my heart too great for what contains it. Boy! Oh, slave. Pardon me, lords, 'tis the first time ever I was forced to scold. Your judgments, my brave lords, shall give this cur the lie. In his own notion, who wears my stripes impressed upon him, and who shall bear my beatings to his grave, shall join with you to thrust the lie unto him.
Peace, both, and hear me
Cut me to pieces, Volskis! Men and lads, stain all your edges on me. Boy! False hound. If you have writ your annals true, 'tis there, but like an eagle in a dovecot, I fluttered your Volskians in Corioli. Alone, I did it. Boy.
Why, noble lords, will you be put to mind of this blind fortune which was your shame by this unholy braggart for your own eyes and ears?
Let him die for Oh, Tullus,
on a deed whereat valor will weep. Masters, all be quiet.
My rage is gone. And I am struck with sorrow.
Thank you all for coming, and
oh yeah, give us money!